again, and welcome to the Project-Based Learning Showcase, where over a course of months, students have been understanding and defining a problem or opportunity, developing a potential solution to address the problem or opportunity, and effectively communicating suggested solutions. This process has provided many benefits for our students, as students have been exploring real-world problems and have given insights to the issues that need to be addressed. For me, PBL has been more than this projects and showcases. It has been educated topics, allowing me a chance to be a service in the community whenever the opportunity presents itself. People have been more for us and their life experiences.
For those in the audience, we want you to know that every student who is competing in this event today, whether it's presenting their projects on the stage or in the hallways, will receive a cash prize. Also, we wanted you to know that this money is being given to our students from other school divisions. How so, you might say? Well, for the last several years, HES has been selling its curriculum on a subscription basis and now partners with over 20 school divisions in and outside of VA. So, today, we're actually giving away about $11,000 of other school divisions' money to our students.
At this time, can I have all presenters please stand? These students and faculty have been working hard in many cases since September, and the PBLs we have seen can be the commitment to their success. Please join me to giving them a round of applause to make it to this point.
Hampton. When we think of Hampton, we think of home and how it's our community. How about you, Mr. Brandon? What do you think of?
When I think of Hampton, I think of all the resources it has to give back to this community. When you think of Hampton, what do you think about?
When we think of Hampton, we think of home. I'm Camille. I'm Isla.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are all proud members of the Health Human Financial Services Academy. Like I said, when we think of Hampton, we think of home. How it's our wonderful community that may beat us down at times, but have so much more to offer than we all see, which is why we started this challenging yet very impactful project to show our community the agencies that we have to offer. We not only provided these resources to them, but we became the resources when we provided food kits to those in need. Our academy has an ongoing history of providing help to the community, such as when we provided help to the Help Day Center or went to churches and helped with the pantries and such forth.
Our driving question was aimed to take away the worries of people in our community and to help them survive and thrive. The answer to this question was to provide and inform our community with resources and services they need to combat against these needs. Something that makes our project feel accomplished are the relationships and connections we made within our community. Our goal was not to have a one-time event, but to have long-term solutions to the issues in our community.
Following this, we sent out surveys to the community. We received over 240 responses. We surveyed people from different age groups and different education backgrounds. In the survey, we asked them what they think the community's biggest needs are. They said more affordable childcare, activities for the youth, and more health assistance.
We also sent out a separate survey to Hampton High School and to the people in our community for those who are facing food insecurities.
We also did some formal research and articles and found that people struggle with asking for help due to the fear of rejection and a sense of victimhood. After hearing the responses to these surveys, we decided to come together and host a community resource fair event where people could gain the access that they need. We also handmade food bags and hand-delivered them to people's front doors. As you may know, this sounds like DoorDash, but we call this the Crabber Dash.
We stayed true to this impact, which is to serve the families at Hampton, while also providing a convenient and safe way for them to access these resources. We did all this on a lengthy timeline. So in October is when we started researching, just budgeting how much we had to work with. November is when we started doing our surveys for like community resources. December and January, we started to fundraise like volunteering events, February is when we did our Hampton is Home Resource Fair, where we had all the resources under one event. So like just everybody who needed help, they were able to come out and get all this information and such forth. March is when we delivered the random acts of kindness, where we were giving out the kits, and now here we are still making an impact.
Before we began this project, we had to familiarize ourselves with resources people in our community had access to. So on November 15th, a few students in our academy, including me, went to a community fair. While at the community fair, we had talked to a handful of agencies and organizations and asked them what their mission was and what resources they provided.
In November, we visited the Hampton Baptist Church, which is also a food bank. There, we provided the less fortunate with a Thanksgiving meal, and we also helped them with their food and clothing pantry.
After going to the church and the community fair, we started reaching out to people using business cards, professional emails, and brochures to see who would be able to give us food or money for the food bags and come and being a vendor at our resource event. This process helped us elevate our communication and social skills because we had to speak to people at the resource event, reach out and just get out of our comfort zone to see who would be able to provide help. Overall, it felt really good knowing I was helping other people in my community access resources they didn't know were in reach, and it felt really rewarding getting out of my comfort zone and growing.
In these bags, we made sure to be aware of certain allergens, and we made sure to provide them with breakfast meals and lunch meals, such as bread for sandwiches and cereal for cereal. We delivered these bags on November 21st and December 15th, and in total, we reached up to 40 families.
As my former teammate Camille said, this took a lot of time and effort between December and January. For the event, we all wore red hoodies, so if you had any questions, you would know who to go to and you could ask any questions. We were all happy to help. If you would please open the red folder that I previously passed out, you see all the different color-coded sheets of paper that you would have saw in the check-in center. That you would have gotten depending on your family size. You also will see a white sheet of paper. That's the fatherhood card that we are in the makings of working with at Hampton High School for all the teen male dads. We had raffle tickets, food trucks, and a lot of different things towards the end. So overall, I feel like this event was fun.
Just last week, we received a food donation from one of the teachers here at Hampton High School. After receiving this donation, we packaged the food up and went out into the community and delivered random acts of kindness on people's doorsteps.
I really enjoyed doing this project. We had some struggles along the way, but we were able to make the best of what we had. We didn't get many responses from vendors, but that really helped to put us in the perspective of what people in need may feel when they're asking for assistance and resources. We didn't have that many people come to the resource fair, but we were still able to have a lot of fun. As for the food pantry, we struggled with having enough money and space for us to create a food pantry on site. But instead of us getting up, we created the bags and we gave them the meals to the families directly.
If you see in your folder, there's a blue sheet that has these two pieces of paper. These are the feedback we received from our food bags when we sent them out.
This is our evaluation form that the guests got whenever they came to our gym when we were visiting the vendors. This gave us accurate feedback and honest, reviews about what we could do better, what they enjoyed, and how we can elevate it later on.
Overall, I feel like this event was very effective. Not as many people came as we would have liked, but we got a chance to make personal connections with everyone since it was a little bit smaller. We got to speak with all the vendors and all the guests that showed up. We even got a chance to speak with the mayor. He showed up, so that was good. And overall, I just feel like it was fun and such a good time.
There was a special organization, Fatherhood Fire, that Mala mentioned, and I was the one that reached out to them because they stood out to me at the community fair because they focused on giving support to no fathers overall. We also met with them yesterday because they're thinking about expanding their curriculum or their programs to be accessible to teen fathers. And it was nice knowing that they had over 58 locations in America, and they're working on an internship this summer so that we can experience what it is to be in human services as well.
Thank you for listening to our project. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed presenting it. And I just want to say this wasn't just a project for us. This was something much more, and we want this to be a tradition for our academy in the future.
I'm pouring service. I'm pouring in knowledge.
I'm pouring in resources.
And I'm pouring in guidance.
And I'm combating against food insecurities. And together, we are growing our academy.
Thank you, Hampton is home. Now we will begin the 3-minute question and answer session with our judges.
I have a quick question. For the resource fair, if you were to do that again, how do you think you might get more people?
I think we probably would reach out sooner first off and just go to more places so that the work get reached out more.
Yeah, we were kind of nervous to go out in public and actually tell them about it. So we did emails, but I feel like the fact that most people might be busy, they might not have checked their email, so we could tell our peers, our parents, and see who they know, and actually, get the word out more. As well as having the food back there at the research event.
Can you tell me how you all decided on what to do? Maybe I missed that at the beginning, but as a team, how did you all settle on certain things to do?
When you say certain things, are you saying?
The bags, the resource fair, how did you all decide this is the approach that you all wanted to take?
So we wanted to reach out to all parts of Hampton. So we noticed previous years that Hampton had problems with food, or we had struggles, and not much people wanted to admit the fact that they wanted to, because it's hard to reach out to certain people. So we decided, so if we make these meal kits for these families, they will have the resources that they need. So we decided to help them with the certain resources, such as the resource fair. They're able to meet the mayor, speak to the mayor, get information on how they can get help from us.
That is all for today, and thank you again, Hampton is home. You did an amazing job.
Last night was tough. I haven't eaten or slept in days or seen my family over a month. He won't let me leave. He told me he would take care of me. The hotel is dirty. There are bed bugs everywhere. I'm scared. I don't know what he'll do next. I feel invisible. I walk these hallways every day, but no one seems to notice me. Will you recognize what I'm going through? Will you be my voice?
What you just saw was an example of a human trafficking victim. Human trafficking happens internationally, locally, and even in our schools. Not many people know much about this issue or choose to ignore it. Therefore, a group of Hampton High School students came together to launch a project aimed at raising awareness for this issue. And we called it End Human Trafficking 1491. And I'm Noemi Flores.
I'm Kate Lucico.
I'm Christian Bowling.
I'm Normani Humbert. I'm Alana Fleming.
I'm Casey Edmondson.
I'm Nisha Humbert.
And we represent the Ivy Academy. Hampton Roads is a hub for human trafficking. Human trafficking is when someone uses force or manipulation into getting someone to do commercial sex acts or labor against their will. Our driving question is, how can we raise awareness of human trafficking and end human trafficking in Hampton Roads while helping the survivors?
True or false? Victims in active trafficking situations always want to help get it out. Just without the answer, This is false. Some victims have attachments to it. Yeah. So during our project, we had an array of partnerships, like the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Walmart, Transitions, Hampton Police, and the FBI.
Virginia is ranked 15th in the U.S. for reported human trafficking cases. And since 2017, with the creation of Hampton Roads Human Trafficking Task Force, there have been 325 confirmed cases, with 67 of those being minors.
When partnering with the FBI, we learned that there were over 20 million cases of human trafficking reported globally. And the common age for entering human trafficking is only 15 years old. I am 15 years old.
I am 15 years old.
Human trafficking affects individuals of every race, gender, age, and socioeconomic backgrounds. And the advertisements for this topic continue to increase.
And when meeting with Dee Wallace from Homeland Security, we learned that oftentimes human trafficking victims have nowhere to go after being saved from their situation. So an holistic approach is needed in order to support them, like counseling and helping them learn their identity. Playing a proposal: raise awareness, purchase needed items, and donate.
We plan to raise awareness of human trafficking by handing out flyers that have information about what human trafficking is, what are the signs, and how to report it. We also plan to fundraise and purchase needed items for the victims of human trafficking and donate at least 25 backpacks to Transitions Family Violence Services. We will measure our impact by getting feedback from Transitions and getting feedback from the students that we engage in conversation with.
Implementation: working in community. Fundraising, Walmart experience, and delivery.
What we did. The picture on the left is a picture of us selling snacks and handing out flyers in the gym during shuttle time. Therefore, not only were we able to have these conversations with students from Hampton High, we would have these conversations with students from Phoebus, Bethel, and Kickerton. Most of our conversations were with students a part of the IB Academy, and we encouraged them to distribute this information with students a part of other academies or peers they thought should know this information. The picture on the right is a picture on January 11th. January 11th is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Prior to this day, we made several morning announcements to raise awareness for human trafficking, and we told everybody that on this day they should wear blue, because blue is the color of human trafficking awareness. Therefore, here are some people we found wearing blue that day. We also partnered with Walmart, who was very kind to donate some essential items to put in our bags. While selling snacks, we raised $450 to buy any additional items that we thought were necessary to put in our bags. Our Walmart shopping experience was even featured on Channel 3 News.
In Hampton, high school students stepped up to make sure that victims of human trafficking know they aren't forgotten. A group of students from Hampton High raised $450 at school to buy essentials for people who have been trafficked. They then partnered with the Coliseum Central Walmart, and News 3 followed them around as they picked up everything from sheets to toys. They also filled a shopping cart with donated items, and we're told Hampton Police helped fill 60 backpacks in support. The students are part of the Hampton's International Baccalaureate Academy.
And with the items Walmart donated to us and the items we purchased during our shopping experience, we made more than 25 go bags and donated them to Transitions to help the victims of human trafficking. True or false? Traffickers target victims they don't know. This is a myth. Most victims know their trafficker personally. Reflection: looking back on our efforts.
Feedback from Transition stated that the items used in our go bags were used to help victims of human trafficking entering and exiting their anti-human trafficking and domestic violence programs. Survivors now feel as if they have items of their own and they get to skip the process of asking for it. The underclothing provided helps survivors feel more aware and cautious of the situation and their surrounding.
When engaging in over 1,000 conversations, we handed the students flyers we created ourselves with QR codes embedded on them, and they answered the survey we had embedded. The results from the survey stated that 70% of them said that they had given them a better understanding of what human trafficking was. 76% said it gave them a better ways to report human trafficking, and 93% said that it gave them ways to find signs of potential victims.
When we receive feedback from Transition, they tell us that with the help of Hampton High, we will continue to be able to provide a direct assistance to survivors of domestic violence, human trafficking, and their family with the use of these go bags. So with that, since our building level presentation, we have started a fundraiser in which we ask students to bring in items such as feminine hygiene products and blankets, and we're going to donate those to transitions so we can continue to fund and support victims of human trafficking. And we're also continuously raising awareness of human trafficking, and with the help of IB students, we have had an additional 500 conversations with students in which we raised awareness of human trafficking. Some things that work well for us is because we have the support of our school resource officer, Officer Bertram, and opened many new doors for us, and we were able to connect with many community partners such as the FBI. And something that we can do better next time is spacing our time more so that we have more time to sell snacks so that we don't run into budgeting issues.
I would say during this project, we learned a lot of communication skills in terms of everyone we had to talk to and the connections we had to make to get this project going. And project management in terms of the budget we had to follow and the timeline we had to follow to continue to do this project.
Something that we're most proud of is that our project not only made an impact here, but outside of our school as well. Personally, I had received a photo from one of my friends who attends Chesapeake City Schools, and it was a photo of our project on their school news. So I'm glad that our efforts have not only been recognized here, but outside of our school as well.
When talking to my mom about this project, she was glad that I was raising awareness on such a big issue that wasn't talked about a lot. So I'm glad that even a small group of high schoolers can make such an impact on such a huge issue. And as a young female, it reminds me to be more aware and cautious of my surroundings. And I'm happy to help the victims of human trafficking know that there are people out there that don't know them that do care. Any questions?
Judges, your briefing and Q&A cannot be here.
I had a two-part question for you guys. The first thing was, what prompted y'all to go after human trafficking? And why did y'all choose this topic?
We realized that it was something that everyone talks about and it's a thing going on, so we have to let people know what's going on and help the victims.
Okay. And the second question was, I see that you guys got like donations from, you work with transitions, you got donations from Walmart. What did you do to engage your community to get donations? Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see where, I see where you engage the students, the school, the officers, like the liaisons that y'all have, correct? But what did you do to engage the community to get donations to help you guys out with what you're doing?
Well, now we have sent out messages on what we're doing, and I know me personally, my mom had sent it out to a couple of her friends here, and they had sent it out to some other people so that we can get more donations from them.
I think my question is, who do you plan to connect with next to work with you?
Pretty much, I feel like we want to keep going like in the pathway that we are, and with the help of our school resource officer previously, he helped us reach out to the different people that we connected with already. So I'm pretty sure that with the help of him, we will be able to reach out to more people. But I feel like, well, with the help of Kay's mom, we had also took more donations from her and the people she's connected with.
Thank you.
And I'm going to try not to ask a question every time. But really quickly, do you all feel like, I know we're here for the final contest, do you all feel like this is something that you all will take on and continue? I know that we say this is the project, but is this something that's kind of part of now who you are and things that affects how you look at the future and what you want to do?
I really do feel like this topic is something that really just needs to keep continuing on raising awareness for it. Because like we said, it's really not talked about a lot. So I do see this project continuing in the future.
My question is, are you partnering with a larger organization to provide cover for you in this lane? Because it's a very dangerous lane.
As of right now, we haven't reached that particular stage yet, but I'm pretty sure in the future we work to get to that point.
Great, thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Morgan Miles, and I'm here with the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. I've been enrolled in the ACER Academy at Phoebus High School, and when I graduate college, I'm going to become a successful engineer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Bender. I'm here representing the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. I'm enrolled in the ACE Academy at Phoebus High School, and after college, I'd like to start a small business.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jerron Duncan, and I'm also here representing the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. I am enrolled in DVP Academy at Phoebus High School, and my future career goals are to become a successful music engineer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Josiah Porter Jordan, and just like my team, I'm here representing the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. However, I am currently enrolled in the Academy of College Experience. My future career goals is to become a nuclear engineer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Layla Price, and I'm here representing the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. I am currently enrolled in the Digital Video and Media Production Academy at Phoebus, but I am undecided on my future career goals.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stanton Speak Up. I'm here representing the Freshman Academy at Phoebus High School. I've already been accepted to the counseling pathway at the Hampton High School, and my future career goal is to be a licensed therapist.
Our team has thought a lot about how etiquette is introduced and used in our daily lives. It can be very scary when you're put in situations you have no idea of how to function in. Which brings us to our digital course, Success 100, The Etiquette Edge. The Etiquette Edge is geared towards young scholars, helping learn the different aspects and learn the different areas of etiquette. The different areas of etiquette that are included in our course are dining, dress code, hygiene, social, and internet. Now you may be wondering, what exactly is etiquette? And as we can see here, etiquette is a customary code of polite behaviors in society or among members of a particular profession or group. Now this brings us to our driving question. Are Hampton City School students adequately prepared for the social interactions that come with being career ready?
And that is a great question. Are the students prepared? We have observed our peers, but not only through observation. We have conducted a survey of 230 freshman students. They were surveyed on their awareness and comfort levels when it comes to etiquette and social settings. While 67 of students were aware and comfortable with etiquette and social settings, 171 of students, they were unaware and uncomfortable with etiquette and social settings. And this is a great amount of students as far as not being comfortable. And with this in mind, going back to our driving question, are Hampton City School students adequately prepared for the social interactions that come with being career ready? And based on the data shown, it is an astounding no.
So that means skills like etiquette should be taught in the curriculum through courses like Success 100. Now, I know you all are probably wondering, what exactly is the Success 100 digital course, The Etiquette Edge? The Etiquette Edge is a digital course that helps our young learners learn when and where to use etiquette. We visited Captain John Smith Elementary School to help on training our digital course. This began the process of ensuring our young learners learn when and where to use etiquette and its social norms.
We have observed many of our peers starting to stand out due to a lack of understanding of proper etiquette. If we embrace etiquette ourselves, while also passing that knowledge to younger students, we can create a cycle. That cycle could bring us into a better learning environment each day, contributing to a greater society as a whole.
Now, our team has spent a lot of time reflecting on what my partner Cassie said and on the curriculum. This is a great disparity as far as the number of students who are not comfortable with their sense of self and purpose. That tells us that there are students who are not meeting the criteria of a portion of a Hampton graduate. Now, although we have content knowledge, we have career life skills, and we have communication, collaboration, and leadership. But if we're not careful, we're going to miss the ball with positive sense of self and purpose. And one of the key parts of having good sense of self and purpose is maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships.
And going back to what Layla previously stated, students are equipped with etiquette less and less every day. However, with our digital course, we believe that we can change the directions of the stats previously shown by Cassius. We have demonstrated this by partnering with Captain John Smith Elementary, where the students quickly grasped and then modeled the concept shown. And just as we did at John Smith, we hope to be able to in schools both inside and outside the district. With our digital course, we believe that we can change the entire demographic of what the portrait of a Hampton graduate is supposed to reflect, really honing in on Superintendent's Master Plan 2.0. And for future connections, we hope to offer our course as a signature experience for elementary school students.
And as you can see here, this is our digital course working in action with the wonderful students at Smith Elementary. We really think we're able to instill a good sense of manners and the beginnings of etiquette that will really help them in the future.
And this here is a short overview of our digital course. Let's take a look. And here it goes over the different modules that the students can interact with. And the wonderful thing about our digital course, it can be teacher-led or self-paced. It has various videos after each topic so the students can watch and learn. And at the conclusion of all modules, the young learners are able to take a final test to certify themselves as a certified etiquette age explorer. After our visit, we sent a survey to Smith Elementary School to assess our performance, preparedness, and engagement. There were some things we could improve on, such as our preparation and engagement, but we're going to keep that in mind for our future visits.
While completing this project, there were many things that made us proud. However, there's a couple areas that we can improve on, such as having more hands-on activities for our young learners to help model what we're trying to convey. Another area that we can improve on is time management. We feel we spent a lot of time working on our actual digital course and not enough time on follow-ups with our young learners.
As a recommendation to Hampton City Schools, we believe that a class similar to Success 101, although tailored to elementary and middle school students, should be implemented into the curriculum. Instead of covering career readiness, it will cover subjects that help convey a positive sense of self-worth and maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships. We also highly recommend Success 100, the Etiquette Edge, be a signature experience at an expo, similar to the one freshmen attended back in October, though for elementary and middle school students.
Now, before we get to our questions, we have ourselves a self-assessment. The items we've assessed ourselves on are citizenship, collaboration, communication, creative thinking, critical thinking, and wellness. And over here, we have our scores. We would like to give you time to review amongst yourselves.
And reflecting back on the presentation, we can tell that Success 100 is tailored to helping students reach the expectations to become a Hampton graduate. However, career readiness is often first introduced to us during our freshman year of high school. And how can we really be career ready without the appropriate level of social training? That's what our digital course comes to action. Success 100. We believe that Success 100 should be taught to both elementary and middle school students. This will allow those students to reach those levels of preparation at an earlier age, also allowing them to prevail during the high school experience. We thank you for all your time, attention, and support, and we look forward to being instrumental in implementing a greater society. With that being said, that brings us to our questions.
Thank you, team. Judges, you may now begin your 3-minute question and answer session.
I just had a quick question. What program did you use to create the modules?
The software that we use to create it is Articulate 360.
And to elaborate even further, we used a free trial of Articulate 360.
Just real quick, have you worked with technology to find out if that's something that's accessible from Chromebooks for all students?
For most of the time, it's accessible by Chromebook and by the internet. And since we created our digital course through Articulate 360, a digital course, that helped us expand to more people since we have such a small team.
Also, when we were developing the course, we actually developed it using Chromebooks, so it does work.
Do you plan to go to another elementary school or another school to collect more data?
We are really trying to push forward with that plan to visit 1 or 2 more so we can implement it in more places.
So, what age group are you focusing on that? Because I know you said like elementary, right, that y'all went there. But you have 1st and 5th grade there. So what, is it just elementary as a whole, or are you focusing on one particular like age group or grade level?
So we are trying to target areas where the youth are starting to develop. So that would be 5th grade and maybe 7th. So those areas where students are starting to transition, is very much trying to implement our course.
So 5th and to 7th grade. Now, two part to that, second part to that is, I see that you guys, the way that you got your impact measurements was that you surveyed 238 freshman students to determine their level of comfort when it came into social interactions and etiquette, right? So my question is, you used 238 freshman students, but you implemented on elementary age kids, right? So two different levels of understanding, let's just say. So the first part to that is, how are you going to implement a plan to be on the level of elementary school age kids, 5th to 7th grade? And then also, what about the freshmen that y'all surveyed? What about their etiquette?
Can you restate the question? I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, so here we have two parts. You did a survey on 238 freshman students, right? So 38 freshman students, level of understanding when it comes to etiquette, right? And social interaction. You using what you took to survey 238 freshman students, which you're implementing on 5th and 7th graders. Two levels, grade levels of understanding. How are you going to change your plans to fit the grade level that you're teaching etiquette training?
Like you were saying, yeah, it's for 5th grade. And in our high school, we were gonna actually, teach the kids that needed help with social training and etiquette, and you just help them, and they could just use our digital course as well. It's for all ages that don't know about etiquette.
So are you saying your course is a one-size-fits-all?
So our course is mainly for that age group, but we wanted to survey freshman students to show that there is no etiquette training in that age group when there should be.
You all put a pie chart up that I think is broken into 3 categories of engagement. Was that from surveying elementary students that you all work with? And can you talk a little bit about what that is?
Yes, it was just a survey of how our performance was, our engagement, and just how we can improve on those levels.
Was there any kind of question or assessment as to how much they understood from the assessment training? So was there any way to document, I know you talked about your performance as far as presenting it to them, but was there any way to capture if they comprehended what you all were trying to get at?
Right, yeah. One of the kids actually reached out to us that we were talking to, and he actually said he actually grew from that, and he actually took etiquette and used it for his classmates as well.
Excellent. I was thinking that maybe that would also help address the question as well before, maybe even like a pre and post test, but they understood before you did that and after.
Thank you so much, team. You all did great. You may exit the stage left.
Hello, everybody. How are we doing today? We're about a quarter way through this, or not a quarter way, a third way through this. And this is staging inclusion. This is empowering youth with special needs through the arts. My what and my why. My goal is to make an inclusive arts program that can be replicated across the district, the state, and even further if we get there. And it's going to be putting on short plays productions. Our driving question for this year is how do we advocate for quality arts programs in our schools and have an impact outside of the classroom and in the community. Our first stage was research. I did a lot of research on this because I'm not a professional by any stretch of the imagination on special needs education or anything of that sense. I went to classrooms that already were educated in that field, or inclusive classroom settings, and I said, how do I do this? Because I'm really, really, really passionate about this and I want to get this done. And they said you have to be equitable. Not everybody at the same level. Not everybody can read and stuff like that. And so what I found with that is that patience is key. You're gonna have those good days. You're gonna have those bad days, but you just gotta keep trying. And that's what we did. So if we can go along. So what I plan to do, I am integrating into the general music class, which is run by Mrs. Huber, our director of choral activities. And I am going to implement this program. So if you can open up your folders and look at the lesson plan inclusive theater, it should be the first page. And it's a 12-week program split into 3 4-week increments. My first increment has to deal with emoting. What does it look like to be happy? If I said, what does it look like to be sad? Can we all do it? What are we? We're trooping. And that's what we started with. We started with basic emoting, getting familiarized with that. Then we moved on to improv, short scenes, creating short scenes and doing all fun stuff. Our last was the implementation of this script that I wrote. And it went phenomenally. We had 2 performances. And yeah, so this is the timeline. So I introduced acting technique, like I said, emoting and such. Then I finished the script, that was on me. But I finished the script and I started directing. And then we got costumes from our lovely Kay over here. Like you can see all over the briefing board that we have a whole bunch of costumes. They were picked from our costume closet that we had at Kickatin. And then we had dress rehearsal, which was 2 weeks before the indie performance, which was on February 15th, but then it was also replicated a little bit later on after I presented this to my school. All right, so we have our cast list. I was a director and script writer. Our assistant directors was our 2 staff members, who is Mrs. Huber, our director of choral activities, and our pianist, who is Miss Jeannie Capriati. Costumes were done by Kay. We had readers, so when I went into this, there were some students that could absolutely knock it out of the park. They wanted to do acting, and they wanted to get into the performance setting, but then there were some that were not. They didn't have the verbal or reading skills, so we had a couple of readers. Those readers that I'm going to shout out now is Finch McCarney, Piper Gilly, Riley Brooker, and then Kay Doria. And when I was going into this and making the script, it was about catering to the youth that I was working with. I found that when I researched, it was more about what do they like. That's how we connect, right? Because if you're a baseball guy and you're up here listening to a 5'11" man with curly hair talk about theater, you're probably not that interested, right? But if I'm like, okay, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani, you're like, okay, we up here. Right? So, and that's what I did. We made a match, is what it's called. It was a mashup of storybook characters.
Alright, so as Josh said, I was in charge of costumes for this project. So we have a few examples up here and also on the slideshow. So for making these costumes, I wanted it to be simple while also catering to the needs of each student in the production. So we had a lot of colored button-ups is what I ended up going with because it was easy to put on and it didn't have a lot of like distracting textures that would have caused problems for them during the play. So this was our Tinkerbell and our Captain Hook, which is also down there. And then we had a wizard costume, that half of that is up in that corner, the king, another button-up, and our cowboy costume.
Yeah, and I'd like to mention real quick that nothing compares to the connection that was made between the students. I mean, I have like 3 students that I had handshakes with, and like because they're in these inclusive classroom settings that are not, they're more out of the school system. They're not traveling back and forth through classes like most students are. Giving them connections was really impactful. I have like Kay says hi to them all the time. All of our readers are like, hey, what's going on? And they smile and we're walking down. It's really the connections is what made this just so more impactful.
And this is our last costume slide. As you can see, more button-ups. These were our dresses for the Sugar Plum Fairy and Cinderella. Yeah, it was a really great experience to get to work with these kids and find costumes for them.
Right, so I want to shout out some teachers that helped with this. Either they were in the audience or they were helping or they have the interview, which you'll see in just a minute. That's Mrs. Addy, Mr. Carpenter, Mr. Judd, Mr. Seacrest, and Mr. Curtis, who are either our special education teachers or they're the student aides that help the students move around and do their work and stuff. Next is Dr. Lucas, and Mrs. Hamilton, Mrs. Booz, who's right there, and Mrs. Bourne, who allowed me to escape her class for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, no matter what it was. She was always so easy to work with and actually allowed me this time, because it's hard to get 13, 14, 15 students to stay after school for something and get the job done. So I was very, very lucky to be able to leave class, and Kay was there to help throughout the entire process. And those are all either our academy principals or our teachers. And then we have Miss Cap, and then Miss Graham? Miss Graham walked in too. Miss Graham was great. Miss Cap and Mrs. Huber were, again, my advisors / assistant directors of this project. So if you click the next slide. Yeah.
What is your name and what was your role in this process?
I'm Corinne Huber, and I was the advisor for the project.
I love seeing how our director, Joshua, did a great job working with our students with disabilities. Making sure that they're included, make sure they had opportunity to take on a character other than themselves and actually be, to collaborate with one another as well as with other theater students to ensure that the students had access to do something different than what they would normally do.
What is your name?
Riley Huber.
All right, so you get the gist there. I went around and interviewed, and some people didn't want to be on camera, which is totally fair. So these are some of the ones I wanted to highlight. The only one I'm going to talk about is Mrs. Graham, who's sitting right there. I have been in special education for 35 plus years, and I've never seen anyone to attempt to do what you did to say how I liked it. Help me out here. Second to none. Thank you. All right, so then I sent out a form. This was to audience members that watched the play. 100% of the people agree that the project had a positive impact on the arts. That is what I wanted. That is the driving question. And that just made me lighten up. If you can actually do me a favor and flip over that lesson plan to the next page, you'll see that you have audience quotes. But I'm going to go really fast through this. 93% of people enjoyed the performance. 87% of people haven't seen any productions or stuff related to students with special needs. And then 93% of people think that this should be continued on for future generations and sent out to other educators. Yeah, so more audience quotes. Those are in your folder, but I'll real quick say this one. 2 of my siblings are autistic. It provides me comfort knowing that my siblings have performance opportunities in the future. Reflection. My communication with my sponsor was locked in. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys again. Sorry for interrupting. But your alignment's not up in 3-minute question answer round one.
How many total students did you work with?
Right, so it was 13 students, and they poured on this play twice.
If some of those students were nonverbal or had trouble articulating or even emoting, how did you know what you did impacted them positively besides comments from their family members?
Right, absolutely. So we actually had a nonverbal student that was in our production. He used an assistive technology device, he had a tablet, to actually communicate his lines. And I can't ask him, obviously, but when he came into class, it was smiles, it was joy. He would give me high fives, knuckles, like all of it. So that's kind of how I knew. I mean, there's no really way of, but yeah.
Will you be continuing this during your tenure at?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. So right now we are actually working on spring concert music, and they're doing a Disney sidekick choral medley. It's like from like Me and Under the Sea, Early Fire songs like that. But yeah, I'm definitely continuing to work and do more of the lesson plan and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's also to move forward. It's been sent out to other educators to see what they can do with it, and I'll be in contact with them. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daylon Smith. I'm a senior at Bethel High School in the Trail Academy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cameron Love. I'm a junior at Bethel High School, and I'm also in the Trail Academy. And we are the creators of HBCU Connect, and we want to go to the HBCU. Let's take a look at our project overview. Our project discovered the lack of identification and voice for historically black colleges and universities. This discovery led to the creation of an app with the goal of spreading awareness and helping students with the college application process.
Let's take a look at the two problems that we had. The two problems that we had were the need for a more convenient and centralized HBCU resource, as well as HBCUs to get a bigger voice in our community.
What was our driving question? Our driving question was how can we inform students about HBCUs and guide them through the college application process? Research was a huge part in the creation of HBCU Connect. We spent many hours researching the top 25 HBCUs and collecting them into a list.
So, as newcomers to this extensive amount of coding, creating HBCU Connect requires significant research to fully grasp the process on how to create an app, how to make it as efficient as possible, and how to make it look as good as possible.
We collected data on the top 25, data including in-state and out-of-state annual costs, rankings sourced from usnews.com, average high school GPA, SAT, and ACT of accepted students, and lastly, admission/application details. And this is what the list looks like inside our app. As you can see, we got Hampton towards the top, shout out Hampton. We got Virginia State towards the middle, shout out Virginia State. And Norfolk State, y'all a little towards the bottom, but that's okay. And shout out to the women's Norfolk State basketball team, good luck in the tournament.
And Howard's at the top. Go Bison. Let's take a look at our survey data. Throughout our experience, we sent out a survey to fully grasp students' education or knowledge on HBCUs regarding our app. So for the first question, 83% of people said they had heard of a historically black college or university. For our second question, 86% of people answered no to, have you heard of an app that specifically provides information about historically black colleges and universities? For our third question, 84% of people said they would consider downloading an app that specifically walks them through the application process as well as gives you information on the top historically black colleges and universities in the United States. So what we initially set out to do was create a fully functional app with the top 25 HBCUs in America as well as a college checklist for students to follow. We wanted to inform students of HBCUs and create a voice for HBCUs. We did that by using our research and creating a design process for our app, using the frameworks React Native and JavaScript, which are coding languages, to create HBCU Connect. We entered and won the Congressional App Challenge. That's also what we did. Some measurable objectives would be the amount of people that have viewed our video on the New Horizons Regional Education Instagram page, results from our survey, future people who will download our app, as well as talking with potential partners such as J&F Alliance Group, a local software development company, which I'll get into a little later, and people we have showcased our app to, which includes y'all.
Now let's take a look at our timeline. Whoa. Wait, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Now let's take a look at our timeline. First, we wanted to inform ourselves about HBCUs. Then we focused on building app development skills. After building those skills, we created HBCU Connect. Following the creation of our app, we entered the Congressional App Challenge. This led us joining the PBL competition and launching our larger voice campaign.
Let me touch on implementation. Our app is already displayed on the Congressional App Challenge website for people worldwide to access. Our app will be displayed on U.S. Capitol building for 1 year along with other winning apps.
Y'all, we went viral. After joining the Congressional App Challenge, HBCU Connect garnered a lot of attention from not only Bethel, but New Horizons as well. And after talking with some of the staff at New Horizons, they allowed us to display our app with a video on the Instagram page, and that video has garnered 7,000 views.
So, we are now in talks with Jamarcus King and J&F Alliance Group, and we plan to implement augmented reality, stay with me now, augmented reality into HBCU Connect with one of his platforms called Mimic. Using Mimic, we'll be able to implement virtual college tours into our app.
We talked with mentors from Social Society U, a Hampton University program, about collaborating to help students prepare for college.
We're now talking with Senior on My Chest for an HBCU Connect collaboration focused on HBCU apparel. So, let's talk about our larger voice campaign. We had two very important events. Our first event was when we hosted an HBCU simulated experience with Bethel freshmen for over 100 plus students in attendance. That's in the book, the HBCU Connect book. And 90 plus students participated in our HBCU scavenger hunt activity. The second event was we participated in MEA 2024 College Fair with 800 plus registered students. We talked to 200 plus students from 5 different schools, from 5 different Norfolk public schools, which helped us connect with students on a personal level, as well as create a voice for HBCUs and spread awareness for HBCUs. We want to thank Mr. Ream and Mr. King, Social Society Youth, for considering collaborating with HBCU Connect. We really appreciate it.
Also, Ms. Dills from the MEAC. Now on the outcomes. I'm going to talk about 2 things, coding and impact. So what worked with coding? What worked was we made a fully functional app with multiple sections and useful information, but we had errors for growth. What needs to be improved is the different functionalities and efficiency of the app. But moving on from coding, let's talk about impact. What works? We placed first place in the Congressional App Challenge, but our most important impact was informing over 300 students in person about HBCUs and the college application process through our app. But just like with coding, we had areas for growth. We want to host more events for students.
So what's next for HBCU Connect? We want to get it into the App Store so students worldwide can access. We also want to host another HBCU simulated event with our partner Social Society Youth. We also want to collab with J&F Alliance Group to establish a timeline to implement Mimic.io with the augmented reality and virtual tours into our app. In April, we'll be taking a trip to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., where we will demo our app to members of the U.S. House of Representatives. This will take place at a celebration called House of Code, which is the most prestigious day in Students' Day.
Now on the reflections. Everything comes with struggles. There's ups and downs, lefts and rights, well, whatever you want to say. But making an app is no simple task. It took a lot of trial and error to get things right. We were so eager to make the app that in the beginning, we were rushing a lot of the process. But after realizing the mistakes we were making, we took time, slowed down, and focused on doing more research. Now, if we were to start today, will we do anything different? The answer is no. The mistakes that we made along the way have shaped not only our project, but us as people and as students. But moving on from all that, what skills do we develop? We greatly develop skills in app creation, research, digital media, marketing, leadership, and communication.
So what do we know now that we didn't know before? We know now that we are capable of making an impact. As high school students and young people, we assume that a lot of us can't make a change. But doing this project has helped us realize that we are capable of making such a huge impact. What are we most proud of since starting this experience? We're most proud of the app that we've created and the potential impact that it can create. What would we like to add? Obviously, we would like to add advancements in our coding knowledge and add more complex functions to make the app look better, as well as increase the available experiences within the app. But overall, Cam and I are most proud of the work we put in and everything that we've accomplished.
We want to thank you all for listening to our presentation. But now, let's connect. I will be joining the judges below to show them HBCU Connect in person, and Daylon will stay here for questions about our PBL and about our app. And we were supposed to put our Congressional App Challenge video on the screen. Okay, there we go. There.
I want to go to HBCU.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I want to go to HBCU.
You want to go to HBCU? I want to go to HBCU.
My name is Daylon Smith, and my name is Cameron Love, and we are the creators of HBCU Connect, and we want to go to HBCU. Here at HBCU Connect, our mission is simple yet profound: to empower students of all backgrounds to explore, engage with, and appreciate the vibrant HBCU community. We believe in the transformative power of education and the importance of preserving and promoting the legacy of HBCUs.
All right, that is the end of your presentation. Judges, you have 3 minutes, questions and answers.
You noted that you work with Norfolk Public Schools as well. The students, 20 plus students, is that what
Yeah.
How did you, well, I guess 1, how did you get into Norfolk Public Schools? And then 2, probably more important question is 2, what did you learn from working with those students? Were there any differences in what they thought or didn't know as compared to students here in Hampton schools regarding HBCUs, or was the impact the same?
For the first question, it wasn't exactly targeted for Norfolk Public Schools. It was the MEAC College Fair that they had. We got into that with some of our connections with Bethel High School, with Ms. Seals, as well as Ms. Seals. And for the second question, to be honest, students, all in all, didn't have, like, we asked students when we had our college fair set up, we asked students, and most of the students knew they wanted to go to HBCU, but they didn't know, like, that much information to narrow down which HBCU they wanted to go to, and that's what our app helps them do. So, all in all, to answer your question, no, there wasn't really a difference, but yeah, there wasn't really a difference.
So you said that you wanted to get this listed on the App Store. How, I know we're talking about how to find it, but how would you find it? Is there a way we can find it without looking, or how did other students find it?
Now it's not in the App Store, but we wanna be able to implement more complex functions, like we said, to make the app look better, such as like APIs to make the app more efficient and things of that nature. So right now, it's only accessible from a QR code that we've done, but when it's in the App Store, it'll be much more efficient and everything. And so yeah, that's
Okay, so were students actually able to access it with your QR code?
Yeah.
And play with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the QR code where we can?
Oh, it's
By
on
any
it's
chance?
is it up there? That's the contact. She has to put it, she has to put it for the app. Is it up there?
Is this app right now just for informational purposes?
So when we first set out to create this app, I'm a senior, he's a junior, so like we was in the college application process already. So I found that there wasn't a centralized HBC resource. Like there's Common Black College app, but that doesn't have like the top colleges such as like Howard and things of that nature. So we found to make it a centralized HBC resource into an app on the phone, so that it would be way easier for students to access. And it's an informational app, as well as we in the future we also want to add different functions.
So it'd be like a one-stop shop for kids, students that's trying to go to HBC.
Yeah, right, yeah.
They can find the college and do the application.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Judge, that's ending our 3 minutes. Thank you, HBC. Can I have another resolution?
This project is important. We are reducing hunger in our community.
We are putting meals on tables.
Good morning. My name is Michaela Woods, and this project is important because it addresses the food insecurity problem in our Phoebus community.
I'm Caitlin Smith, and this project is important because it allows us to collaborate with community partners.
I'm Navalia Parker. This project is important because it builds on the work of previous classes, and it will allow us to continue and grow into the future.
And I'm Renee Arms. This project is important because it means I can make a real difference for families in our community experiencing food insecurity. We represent the Academy of Hospitality and Tourism in Phoebus High School.
And together we are Team Spark. Spark, a simple beginning.
But our Spark is more than just a simple beginning. It is sustainable, practical,
achievable, responsive,
and most of all, kind. I'm going to hand out an outline that summarizes our project story over time.
Thank you.
2 years ago, our Spark was ignited by students in this class. They identified and defined a serious problem in our community. We live in a food desert.
They articulated the problem effectively and made a video to generate awareness and support.
We'd like to share that video with you because although they have now graduated, the problem persists and their influence endures.
And this is food desert. It's been a food desert for a while, obviously. People like in poverty and stuff. Been eating food for a while. I needed food a lot of times. I'm still kind of like, always go grocery shopping on the first of the month. Can't go grocery shopping the other time of the month.
In my own household, we kind of base what we eat on a day-to-day. It's, what can we afford today, or, do we save like the money we have today so we have enough to get dinner tomorrow.
As a person in the community, I know what it's like for my parents to skip meals for me, and I feel like that should not happen at all. People shouldn't have to go through that.
Just leaving the house and going to the grocery store and seeing like we're not the only family who's like picking through the wallet to like make sure we have enough money to pay for the groceries and to like not have things need to be like unscanned. But that's kind of been my whole life with me and my siblings and my mom.
Like, I know, like, people ask, like, for help and, like, won't get it from, like, I don't know, the town or just other people they know. A lot of people need help. A lot of people will have their hand out and ask for help, but won't, get nothing. And it's hard.
Something needs to seriously be done, and people need to eat. It's real. Like, I know people be hungry. I know I'm hungry a lot. So, yeah.
It was hard doing it with my brother and sister, sitting on the bed and, wondering, what are we gonna eat tonight? What are we gonna eat tonight? I feel like nobody should have to go through that.
Here's a summary of research they found based on the 2020 census data for the Census Data Neighborhood, the USDA, the Virginia Department of Human Services, and local authorities in our community. Last year, students in this class explored options for reducing hunger and increasing access to food.
We found that there's plenty of food out there, but much of it is going to waste. The challenge is getting the food into the homes and onto the tables of those families.
By producing their video and sharing their research, 2 years ago, students were able to generate interest in community partners.
Dave Rogers at the Salvation Army heard about our project and reached out to us to join Feed with Students. He worked with the VA, got a food truck, and we were able to build and serve 300 meals for unhoused vets.
This certainly was a great concept towards reducing hunger, but the food truck concept was not sustainable or practical, and last year's efforts did not address the problem of putting food on tables to families with children.
Fortunately, we have another community partner interested in helping us accessing and delivering meals to families with children. John Amos, a deacon at Zion Baptist Church, introduced us to Pastor King.
Pastor King committed his entire team of deacons, which is headed by Deacon Reed, to commit to getting us ingredients from the food bank for us to use to build meals. They also committed to delivering those meals to the homes of families with children.
Meanwhile, as a class, we worked on generating ideas for meals that could be easily built, stored, and frozen before delivery. We also got feedback from staff, students, and administrators at Phoebus to refine and improve our recipe.
Now the problem became how to identify who needs food and where they live. We need to get the word out to find families interested in participating in our project.
Michelle Barnes, who manages the Hampton Roads Housing and Redevelopment Authority, enlisted her housing managers to get the word out to families.
On February 21st, we delivered 120 meals to participating families with the help of our Zion Baptist partners.
Feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. We made some simple changes to accommodate families who do not own a full-size oven, and we are also currently freezing 300 meals.
Zion Deacons will deliver them next week.
Here is a copy of our project timeline. As you can see, we fully haven't satisfied our ambition. We are projecting completion and distribution to find families and make 600 meals in May. So So we will continue to work on our projects, we will build more meals and diversify our delivery strategy.
Have you ever heard the saying, it takes more than a village? Here's a list of all the people that contribute to our project.
We have ignited a spark. Our project is sustainable. We built on the work from previous students, and we will work with next year's 10th graders as coaches and guides to continue on our project.
We are practical. We know we can't tackle this whole enormous problem, but our project is making a difference.
We are achievable. We will use the skills and knowledge gained in our classes to make sure our goals are reasonable and achievable.
We are responsive. By pacing ourselves and using feedback from community partners, peers, and families, we can ensure continuous improvement.
And our project brings the missing ingredient: energy, passion, and above all, kindness. However, our project is far from over. So, here is our mission statement. Phoebus students working with community partners to reduce hunger. In short,
We are putting meals on tables. Thank you for listening to our presentation. We hope you're inspired to join us here at Phoebus as we continue on.
Thank you so much, team. You all did great. Judges, you may now begin your 3-minute question and answer session.
Okay, so I got like 2 questions for you guys. Sorry, but food is my thing. So one of my things is that I wanted to know that what you guys are doing. Do you consider, when thinking about the meals and things that you're giving out to the families, do you consider the health and the nutritionist part of the meal? And also, like, what about those families? I feel like I may have posed this before, but what about the families that have cultural and alternative ways to eat? Like some people eat, some families that may be in that food desert, based on their beliefs, have to eat certain things. How are you guys gonna implement that to cater to those families that's living in that food desert? As well, I live in the Phoebus area. I'm vegan. My kids are vegetarian. So if we don't eat meat. So how are you gonna implement things for the community as a whole that may have alternative eating habits, in other words?
So for the cultural beliefs, like our food does not contain pork. Like we don't use pork, we use chicken for this current dish we're using. And what was your other question?
So what about like cultural beliefs? I see no pork, that's one culture, some cultures eat no meat. So what about like a person like myself? If I live in Phoebus, what alternative would I have as a vegan and my children be a vegetarian, meaning we eat no meat? If we are in need of a meal or things, have you thought about implementing other alternatives for people to be able to take advantage of it?
Okay, so we have thought about it and we are planning to do it. As we said, we are going to work with next year's 10th graders to build more meals so more people can have like a couple of options they can choose from before we build the meals for next year.
Awesome. And just a tidbit on that, I see the partners that you guys work with. I would recommend that y'all start using y'all small businesses in Phoebus, because I'm a small business in Phoebus, and I deal in nutrition. And you guys come to me, I could be a resource along with other chefs and businesses there that could be a resource to y'all to help y'all out with planning meals and getting them out to the community, okay?
And I know it's going to be a clarifying question, but I think it's really, hunger is a hard thing to tackle because it being so big, right? I think what's working in favor is that it is specific to Phoenix, right? Phoenix area. And I just, for the second, kind of what my fellow judge just said, is that when you're working with small areas or specific areas to tap into those resources in those specific areas, people are bought into that because they typically are from those specific areas as well. And so to tackle a hard problem, who says something about it takes a village? Absolutely. Use your village. So good job.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Hello, or good morning. We are the Hampton Future Bike Riders. My name is Ryan Goodwin. I wish to become an accountant and then a financial manager.
My name is Evan Bell, and I wish to be a drone pilot when I grow up. And we are a part of the Trail Academy of Bethel High School, educating riders one event at a time.
The animation works. The problem, finding ways to assist Hampton Strong in implementing their goals. Hampton Strong is a non-profit organization that aims to give bikes to every child in Hampton.
The objective is to give a bike to every child in the Hampton Roads community and educate them about bike safety along the way, starting with elementary school and going up to high school.
A few of our key strategies are bike drives, repairing bikes, and bike safety.
When we took a survey of Bethel High School bike riders, 76% of them said that they did not wear a helmet while riding their bike, and another 52% said that they did not know the proper bike laws while riding their bike. This is very harmful because they are constantly endangering themselves while riding a bike. One of the questions on the survey was how often would someone ride their bike if provided with one, and 61% said that they would ride their bike at least once a week.
Originally, we were working on Hampton Strong's organizational structure, but after looking at the big picture, we decided to focus on bike safety. So we held a safety bike presentation at Craft Elementary, which had over 200 kids during it. And we held a bike drive at Bethel High School.
With our new information, we refocused on Hampton Strong's initiative to give a bike to every child in the community. With the use of advertising and bike events, we are now in the process of creating more bike events to give to children, to provide bikes.
We're also, did you finish it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all right. We're also planning with, it was Hampton Bike Walk for a bike marathon stand in May. One solution to our problem is bike drives. Bethel Trail County has partnered up with Jeff Pugh, or Hampton Strong, a local resident, to hold multiple bike drives. An example is the BHS Trail Academy bike drives. There's been 3 bike drives. Me and Evan have been the second and third one. Through those bike drives, we realized that we needed advertising, so we've advertised through Facebook and Instagram. There's been 3 Facebook pages, and one of them includes the Hampton City Schools Facebook page. Here to the right is Hampton Strong's logo. For some reason, an update, but here on the top, it was supposed to be, it was
Play It Against Sports.
Play It Against Sports donated bike helmets.
$100 worth.
Yes, 10 bike helmets, over $100. Here's a model of the website that we made for Hampton Strong. Hampton Strong actually has now made a website out of the website that we've made as a model. Our model had a title about him, recent news. Can we scroll down?
The laptop. You gotta do it from the laptop.
Okay. And if we scroll down here, there's the recent news and a survey of where they would do if they were going to donate bikes or bike parts.
During the bike drives, we accepted bikes in any conditions. With the help of Jeff Pugh, the owner of Hampton Strong, we were able to repair multiple bikes and get them back into functioning condition. In the end, a proper functioning bike means more time on the road and less time in the garage. Oh, yes. Here we have 2 of the bikes that were actually donated and repaired with the help of Jeff Pugh during one of our bike drives. As you can see, they are in great see, it's me, Jeff Pugh, and Ryan, and also Hayden, who was referenced on the news along with Jeff Pugh because he also is repairing bikes in his own garage.
Yes, he's been repairing bikes in his own garage before we've even started. Bike safety, about bike safety. Before each child receives the bike, they'll be taught basic bike safety. During our PBL, we have taught over 400 children about bike safety. This is 200 more than our last presentation. We have done a total of 8 presentations about bike safety. Here's us at Craft Elementary, and we repaired 2 bikes, obviously not these bikes, but we repaired 2 bikes and cleaned them and raffled them out. Here are the 2 lucky winners. Benefits include promotes exercise and outdoor activities, saves money, and reduces carbon emissions.
It also reduces bike accidents, keeps bikes out of landfills, and provides an efficient form of transportation.
Our impact on society. We give children bikes they couldn't get by their own means. We empower students to explore the local area and neighborhood, and we provide transportation to and from school, all through use of the bike.
It also increases the awareness of bike safety and regulations towards the children and gives the bike a longer lifespan, providing entertainment to the rider.
We've learned a great deal during our PBL. We've learned how to repair bikes. We've learned a lot about bike safety. We've also greatly improved our presentation skills and our collaboration skills.
We also learned just how important advertising is and simply getting the word out. And we are simply proud of the fact that we have made a positive impact on our community. During the PBL project, we learned the power of teamwork. We have started to create the base of a much larger operation to hopefully provide more bikes to children. We will continue to advertise and use social media and create bike events so that we can further provide bikes to children.
Thank you for learning about our PBL project. If you wish to donate, go to hamptonstrongva@gmail.com. You could either donate money, bikes, or bike parts, or you can scan this QR code, which will take you to Hampton Strong's website, which you can also donate. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. To show that everybody here is a bike, not just children.
I have a question. Can you name a point or two that you go over safety?
Yes. Every person under the age of 14 shall wear a protective helmet. It should be a Consumer Product Safety Commission standard approved helmet, but just know it needs to be a protective helmet. And when you're driving at night, make sure you wear a bright shirt or bright colors at least to make sure everyone can see you. You want us to listen anymore? We have a whole speech about this.
Well, first, I'm just glad people still riding bikes. I was touched when I was working for news about Heritage High School. I saw a whole bunch of students riding bikes.
Yeah.
For those of you of age, are reminded of E.T. So it's tough to know. One, why would anybody want a bike? And it sounds simple, but I'm asking for a reason.
Because it's a key childhood memory that everyone wishes to learn to ride a bike, and it's just a very key memory. We want to spread around this memory for people who can't achieve a bike or get a bike by their own means. So we wish to give people bikes so they can learn how to ride a bike, they have a mode of transportation, and it's just a key memory.
Absolutely, for me as well, thank you. And this is for also the presentations before, so we ask questions, because for us, at least me as a judge, we want to know what's going to happen after today, because it's bigger than the competition itself. So some of the questions we ask you all for groups before and after as well may seem hard, and we're not trying to, but that's only because we want to see what's going to happen afterward, right? Not just for the purpose of this conversation. So again, just want to disclaim, that's kind of disclaimer for all of you.
For people that you donate bikes to, have you thought about putting a small, quick safety car, give those out? Because which side of the road am I supposed to ride that bike on? Am I supposed to face the car? Am I supposed to let the car follow me? Just a car a safety car, something small, that you can give out or on your side?
Well, no, we most of the time, well, so far, and we plan on to do it next week, we give out bikes through a raffle after a bike safety presentation to ensure that they are safe and that they're protected.
What side of the road am I supposed to ride my bike on?
Right side of the curb.
Okay.
Or the sidewalk.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mitchell Hawthorne. I'm a senior at Kingston High School alongside an ATEL Academy ambassador.
Good morning, my name is Annalee Monk. I'm a junior at Kingston High School and also an Academy ambassador.
Good morning, my name is Abigail Browning. I'm a junior ATEL student at Kingston High School.
Good morning, my name is Victoria Scott. I'm a junior ATEL member here at Kingston.
And this is our Building for Tomorrow project, the community cupboard. Our project overviews that we're working with our community partners to build and stock community cupboards for the food insecure in our community, helping the food insecure in our community one person at a time. The definition of food insecurity itself is the condition or state of being in which someone does not have access to sufficient or nutritious foods. This can be caused by a number of reasons, whether it's unemployment, poverty, or job loss. So our driving question is, how can we help with the food insecurity in our community? We've come up with some potential solutions, creating community cupboards for the food insecure and flyers to sustain our cupboards.
For our background research, we visited Thrive. Thrive is a local food pantry that aids the food insecure. Though it may be a big company, they can only serve 10% of those who have access to Thrive. Here's a small clip on speaking on food insecurity.
Food insecurity is a real problem, and so we know that 60% of the people who are food insecure will not come to receive help or ask for help. So we're trying to break down that stigma by establishing this free market.
We recognize the need for food insecurity in our community and wanted to help by providing community cupboards with 24/7 access.
Here. Food insecurity is a real problem, and so we know that 60% of the people who are food insecure will not come to receive help or ask for help. So we're trying to break down that stigma by establishing this free market.
Through our studies in ATEL and our PBL, we decided to include Maslow's hierarchy pyramid. The physiological needs on the bottom of the pyramid include food, water, shelter, and sleep. In order for humans to move safely up the pyramid, they must have a sense of security starting at the bottom.
If you could please open up the blue folders in front of you, have more information on the next set of data we will present. Food insecurity has an impact on education. Those impacts are communication, mood, memory, and motor skills. 75% of the educators work with students who come into school hungry. And for food insecurity has an effect on brain development. Some of those effects are developmental delays, focus issues, eyesight problems, and in extreme cases, brain damage.
According to Feeding America, more than 44 million people face hunger in America today. Also, 1 in 6 people receive assistance like EBT and SNAP. During 2022, 12.8% of American households were food insecure due to COVID-19. In Virginia alone, 1 in 10 Virginians need to use assistance from the Virginia Food Bank. Over 700,000 people are food insecure in Virginia today. Also, during 2021, Virginia had a food insecurity rate of 8.1%.
Hampton Roads has the highest food insecurity rate in Virginia. Norfolk with the worst rate of 13.9, Virginia Beach with the best of 8.2, and Portsmouth has the highest child food insecurity rate of 19.3, and Hampton has a 9.1% food insecurity rate. Here's our planning proposal. We plan to work with our community partners to build cupboards around the area. We also plan to put the cupboards in areas of most need and that are accessible 24/7.
How we did it was by building community cupboards through donation and working with our partners. We also called the city to mark lines before digging and organize food drives to stock the community cupboards. Multiple ways to donate to this project is by cash donations, porch pickups, and drop on the security desk or the cupboard itself. Our measurable objectives is that the food cupboard will need continuous restocking, tracking what is donated directly to the cupboard from the community, and to track responses from QR code data.
During September, we gathered in groups to decide what roads we needed, and we should take action on those roads.
In October, we gathered research and supplies we needed for building our food cupboards, as well as search for our community partners.
We also advertised in October and November with the posters we created.
During the month of January, we found community partners who were willing to support our cupboards. And during the months of February and March, we held food drives on campus and/or in our community, utilizing porch pickup to help stock our cupboards. Here's our implementation piece.
We have included flyers in your folders as well that were created for the community and Kickstand food drives. Those flyers have identical QR codes on them. We also created newsletters located at the cupboards. These will keep the community aware of what and how we're doing. It also has its own QR code for the community's input as well.
Here we have two of our locations, one on campus at Kickstand High School in a secluded area with easy access for our students. Our second location is at Hampton Fire and Rescue Station 7, located on Fox Hill Road, right next to Simpson Middle School. Since our first cover was placed, we were able to track our donations with Google Sheets. We've collected 310 items as of yesterday. We put KHS on barcodes from our food drive donations and a check mark for the community cover direct donations. Our first community cover is located at Hampton Fire Rescue Station 7.
And now on to our reflection.
So what worked well for us was that we got to work with other students in our academy in different classes, different blocks, and we also got to pick what we wanted to work on. For our areas of growth would be our accountability, our timing, and our outreach. We also continue to work with our community partners such as Hampton Fire and Rescue, and Nourishing Neighbors. For our next steps, we plan to await the results of our Nourishing Neighbors grant. Also, we want to contact our business representatives for donations, dedicate a phone line for the community contact, an opinion poll for downtown Hampton refrigerators, and for the 1st and 15th of each month, have toiletries in the cupboards.
All classes felt that we struggled with donations and the responses from hardware stores. We also felt that we struggled with food for pantry sustainability and locations of cupboards. The way we overcame these was by Mr. Swallow building our first cupboard, Dr. Lucas, our principal, providing funds for the KHS cupboard, classroom and building food drive competitions, our silent partners, and partnering with Thrive Peninsula, and our community donations directly to the cupboard. Some of the ways we fixed the approval sites were by going to Fire and Rescue Station 7, KHS, Buckrow Baptist Church, and the City of Hampton Police Department.
What we would do differently would be the way that we went about creating our PBL, as well as having more student participation.
During the process of our PBL, we've developed teamwork, communication, collaboration, and how to create partnerships with businesses in our very own community.
What we didn't know what we wanted to know before was how serious the food insecurity rate in our community is, how open the city of Hampton is to helping us, and also how this project would grow so fast. We're also most proud of what we achieved in such a short period of time, and also the collaboration of all of our classes. We would also like to add more cupboards, possibly a refrigerator, volunteer with our business partners, and also dedicate the phone line for people who do not use QR codes.
For citizenship, we rated ourselves a 3 because we feel that we show empathy for the food insecure in the community, but we feel that we could manage our resources better.
For collaboration, we participated in activities flexible to change, we delegated responsibilities, and listened to others' perspectives. For this, we gave ourselves a 4.
For communication, the Academy of Teaching, Education, and Learning gave us content knowledge and vocabulary to help us investigate our PBL. It gave us the skills to ask relevant questions for our partners and our community. We could have worked with more in a more timely manner. That's why we gave ourselves a 3.
For creative thinking, critical thinking wellness, we chose all 4 for these because instead of choosing something we know wouldn't work, like going to the lunchroom and getting bags for food, we chose a more anonymous way for students to get the food that they needed, day and night, or weekends or holidays. We designed a plan, we evaluated, and changes were made when needed. Our driving question is, how can we help with food insecurity in our community, one person at a time? We found our statistics, not just local, but state and national. We went out to our community members and partners to address food insecurity in our community. We had bumps along the way, but we always figured things out. Delegation, collaboration, flexibility. Our goals were stuck to, and we achieved what we needed to place our first community cupboard. And now, I have a question for the judges and everyone else. Have you guys heard of the big blue box.
Hey, can I ask your class a question?
Oh,
sure, go ahead. Have any of you guys heard of the big blue box? Thank you. Have you heard of the big blue box?
Can we see the rest of the video?
Yeah. Cool. The big blue box. No? No. No. No?
No, I've not.
Hey class, I got a question for all of you. Have any of you heard of the big blue box?
No. Yes.
All right. Can you tell me a little bit more about this big blue box?
Yes. The Academy of Teaching, Education, and Learning's community cover. Their first location is at Fire Station 7 on Foxhill Road, next to Sims Middle School. The ATL Academy created cupboards for the food insecure. Just look for the big blue box if you're in need, 24/7. 3 more locations are being looked at. We need you to help us by donating directly to Kickitan, directly to the box, or you can make cash donations using the QR code on any flyer you see.
Helping the food insecure in our community, one person at a time.
Any questions?
All right, so, okay, I feel that. Okay, I do have, and I guess more on a note again. You all talk about what will happen, what's going to happen in the future, how you're going to continue the project, cost sustainability. I would encourage all of you all, this is something that's really, that you all latched on to, especially you in the back as well, that you all have a plan for what will happen when you graduate, right? Sorry, looks like you already have a plan.
So our partnership with Thrive Peninsula, it's a local food bank here in Hampton, and they've already decided that we would be business partners. And even after all of us graduate, because Mitchell will be graduating this year, they will help continue to supply and help when needed, as well as the fact that we will also be implementing it in our classrooms, whether it's helping with our sheets, Google record sheets to keep inventory, through donations that we have every month for food drives, et cetera, et cetera.
When all of you graduate, I just think about the students within, how you train them to carry on with the work that you've done, but we'll always be starting again from ground zero. Right?
The plan is to keep it in the ATEL community. So all future teachers will be providing and keeping the cover stocked and making sure it continues throughout the years.
Good morning, everyone. I'm your host, Michael Reinhardt, for today's short presentation. I'm beyond thrilled to stand before you today to discuss how we are taking flight and collaborating with the Newport Regional Airport. Before we get started, I'd like to give you all some brief flight instructions. As you can see, you have each been handed one of our one-page reports where you can scan QR codes and follow along with each one of our deliverables. But remember, I'm your pilot, so all attention should be up front. Our team is working in collaboration with the Newport News Williamsburg Airport to increase overall interest in the community. Our driving question is, how can we, as high school students, not only increase foot traffic, increase involvement in the community, but make up some of the $250,000 monthly loss? That's a lot of money, but here's how we do it.
Let data take flight. The Newport News Williamsburg Airport statistically does not have a lot of customers who come to the airport for the use of air travel. And the social media team at this airport is very understaffed, and the technology is severely outdated. AODB, Airport Operational Database. AODB is a programming database airports use generally for security, ticketing services, and scheduling flight opportunities. Believe me when I say AODB is the future of AI technology in airports. Between 2018 and 2022, the highest number of passengers for the Newport News Williamsburg Airport was 431,000, which is a tenth of the Norfolk and Richmond peak years, peaking at 4.3 million. Using the graph on the previous slide, we can see an exponential drop in the customers who come to the airport for the use of air travel. Yet we have 100,000 more people living in Hampton Roads and Virginia as a whole. So why do we have more people coming in, but less people trying to use the airport for air travel?
Connecting community. These are some of our outreaches and 3 brief points. We have in-person outreach, things as partnering with local businesses and having more in-person meetings, as we are right now. Digital outreach, using the leverage of more social media platforms and having more targeted ads for the airport itself. And multi-pronged methods, seeing what the community, as yourself, want in the airport using surveys. Now let's talk in-person outreach. Over the past couple of weeks, through the PBL project, we have, what's the word I'm looking for? Seen a variety, emphasis on variety, of different local businesses ranging from City on My Chest, the historic Hampton University, and Capture the World, a newer retail company.
So airport business, this some of the real reviews that people left about the airport and some of our proposed solutions that we are implementing. People have complained about not being able to leave the parking lot at night and pay for their parking because there was no attendant and the machine was broken. People have complained about not having stuff to do in the airport and not having stuff to buy in the airport. So some of our proposed solutions that we're implementing are a way for paid parking through the app that we're developing, airport lounge that has gaming lounge, and a kiosk for people to buy amenities and small businesses to display their products and give links to their e-commerces. Also, as we stated before, the social media team at the airport is completely understaffed. At most, they have one person working on their social media at any time. So we are implementing a social media calendar to keep the community updated and informed with events and stuff going on at the airport. So now to pass it on to our UI UX team.
Scott High Design goes with UI UX, which is user interface and design. During our time in this PBL, we've been developing an app for the Newport News Williamsburg Airport, in which you'll be able to see your ticket as well as purchase others, view information about car loads and flights, as well as links to the car load websites. We'll also have different scavenger hunts with rewards tied to the airport, and an interactive map to help you find your way around. We've also been simplifying the website for a better user experience. Off to Chloe for implementations.
During our field trip at the Newport News Williamsburg Airport, this is some of the advertising spaces that we saw. This is also some of the technology around the airport. On the left, you can see a lounge area, and on the right, you can see us going through TSA. We have been talking to City of Rochester about a future collaboration with the Newport News Williamsburg Airport. City of Rochester is a brand that makes merchandise for the younger generation. The Newport News Williamsburg Airport and Team Take Flight are inviting students to participate in a t-shirt competition for their Buy Local, Fly Local campaign. The Newport News Williamsburg Airport is also building an incubator for students to be able to work inside the airport for pathways to career options. This is our meeting with City of Rochester. So here are our 3 C's. We have connection, community, and collaboration. In Gate A, we have our t-shirt competition, our business roundtable, and game night. In Gate B, we have our Take Flight game night, our Halloween event, and our Christmas event. And lastly, Gate C, we have college. We want to collaborate with college students and get them to support childcare services in the airport. On March 16th, we had our very first business roundtable meeting, where we contacted local businesses and 40% RSVP'd to attend. One of our key businesses was Half of the World, who showed them around the airport and advertised the spaces that were available. So here are our landing impacts. Economic development. We focus on strategies to maximize the economic benefits generated by the airport. Infrastructure improvement. We research infrastructure surrounding the airport to improve connectivity between the airport and the community. Environmental sustainability. We explore initiatives to minimize the environmental impact of airport operations. Community engagement. We engage with local residents and stakeholders to address concerns related to the airport's development. And lastly, revenue diversification. We explore opportunities to diversify revenue streams associated with the airport.
So this is a timeline of how our project has gone so far. We started with planning, finding problems and issues within the airport that we could find readily available online from our classrooms along with reviews. We moved on to developing some solutions to those ideas before ever meeting with the airport themselves. We thought of a couple ways that we could help, and then we further developed those ideas. To moving on to implementation, actually meeting with the airport and presenting these ideas to them. The airport has decided to allow us to participate and help their cause, and it's time for us to reflect a little bit on that.
So after we implemented, we had to reflect. We had to reflect on where we were sitting in the classroom, not everyone to this boring project. To where we are now, standing in front of you, and overly just about it. Which is us to what's up now. We are now fully collaborating with the Newport News Williamsburg Airport, which is us to what's up next, which is good. We all know Drake, right? We think we started from the bottom, now we're here. It's only up. So these are some of our reflections. Things that we struggled on were our time and real data, some new skills that we gained through our project, our improved clarity and collaboration, things that we do differently toward our project, our effective communication and overall collaboration, and the new knowledge that we gained are understanding community needs, discovering unoccupied space, and understanding the financial impact. The things that we worked well on as a team are our project interests and our deliverables, as you can see in the report, areas of growth or areas that we need to grow in, are more airport exposure and teamwork, and lastly, the things that we are most proud of over the whole time working on our pre-grad project are our app, how we enjoyed and grew with the project, and establishing a long-lasting connection with the airport. Now, as we wrap up today's presentation, I'd like to leave you all with a fun and interactive moment as we discuss different ways to elevate the Newport News Regional Airport by letting our dreams and aspirations take flight, quite literally. I'd like everyone to drive their airplane and look towards the stage. And on 3, say take flight. 1, 2, 3. Take flight. Before we answer any questions, I'd like our UI UX team to come down and show you the app that we have developed.
So unfortunately, that is all the time we have left. However, judges, you may start your 3-minute question and answer sessions. 2 minutes. Is this app available in the App Store?
Not currently. We're still working out our kinks, and then we have to add the different QR codes around the airport that we're going to implement to go along with different scouting.
I'm fortunate enough to have been a program with Bill who leads there.
Oh yeah, we love it.
Bill's a good guy. The challenges I think that they talk about often are the fact that there's only one airline.
Yes.
And so how can your work help that? Can you talk about
That's actually one of our #1 concerns at the moment. Us as high school students, this is obviously a bigger picture for us to capture and a bigger problem, but our last PBR project, they told us that this was too big for us, so we're here to obviously prove them wrong. So what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, and from the beginning, we have already started to discuss different ways to increase the foot traffic to get more airlines interested. And before we even get more airlines interested, we got to make sure that American steps their game a little bit. You know, they only have 3 to 4 flights a day, only flying to Charlotte. Mind you, they do fill up those flights, but it's still not in the range that we're looking for to build the airport itself.
Man, I don't understand a single word in this book. At this rate, I'm failing my reading SOL. I'm dropping out.
No, Zaire, it's going to be okay. We're going to help tutor you and we're going to help you pass the reading SOL.
Good morning, everybody. Come on, I have to do better. Good morning, everybody. That's good. My name is Claudia White.
My name is Samara Curry.
My name is Zaire Harris.
My name is Amira Ives.
And we are LOL, which stands for Love of Literacy.
We are part of the Special Academy and Hampton High School.
Please raise your hand if you have a little one at home. By little one, I mean elementary school student. Thank you. You may now put your hands down.
Raise your hand if you reach your little one regularly. Thank you. You may now put your hand down.
And please raise your hand if you take your little ones to the library frequently. Thank you. You may now put your hands down. The reason why we ask is because implementing reading in kids young is important, because they'll grow and learn to love it.
Our PPO this year is called LOL. LOL stands for Love of Literacy, and we plan to ignite a love of reading and help kids carry through our life.
Our driving focus. We want to see how many students are engaging in extracurricular reading sessions with family or friends, like reading time, family groups, or library visits. And our background research. The reason why we chose our PBL is because through our research, we found out that crime correlates with low literacy scores. So we plan to implement reading in young kids so we can boost literacy scores and reduce crime rates. And we asked students how many of their students are engaging in reading activities or reading to them and with them. And as you can see, rarely should not be almost the same amount as daily. And our impacts on low literacy. It impacts school, it impacts adults, and it impacts society. 60% of the behavioral problems occur in classroom assignments, like reading groups,
reading assignments like reading groups or independent work. Also, almost 70% of low-income fourth graders cannot read on the basic reading level. And it's because they're taking care of their siblings or just household responsibilities while their parent or guardian is working for the income. And 49% of fourth graders who are eligible for free lunch finish below basic on the NAEP. And this whole district has free lunch. Let that sink in. We also asked parents how they knowledgeable about the association between low literacy scores, high school dropouts, and crime rates. And 62.2% said yes. Which leads to how our state estimates future prison capacity requirements. And they look at elementary reading assessments to determine that.
85% of juvenile offenders struggle with reading. Not only that, but 3 out of 4 individuals receiving government assistance also have problems with reading. When I say government assistance, I mean welfare, Section 8, and EBT.
Also, another question we asked was how often do the parents take their students to visit libraries or just to borrow books from the libraries? And as you can see, 48.6 said rarely, which is almost never, which is a big problem.
Our impact on society. Libraries have low attendance, and due to that, libraries are unfortunately closing down. Bookstores also have low income, and due to that, bookstores are also closing down.
And how does this affect society?
Because people are losing their jobs. Planning and proposal.
We plan to help literacy grow in kids during the elementary years. We believe that if you build habits as you're young, you will continue those habits as you get older.
What we plan to do.
We plan to have the students gain a better understanding of their reading and literacy skills. Also, we want them to build confidence in their reading, writing, and spelling.
How will we do it?
We will continue to hold Zoom meetings online with students and families. We will also host literacy nights at elementary schools.
And then we will measure our success by asking the students if we help them to build that confidence in understanding literacy and their reading.
Our proposed timeline. First, we conducted research. Then we contacted elementary schools to host literacy nights.
After that, we held a literacy night at Mary Jackson on December 14th.
Unfortunately, over time, our schedule did not match with theirs because of concerts, band, and just teachers having to take care of their classrooms. So we held 2 Zoom sessions online for literacy night, and we plan to have more. Next, we will plan field trips to the library and also ask the students how they feel about it. Implementation. These are the flyers that I got sent to parents to promote our literacy night. And now LOLs, pass those out.
This is a Zoom meeting we held with the students and their stuffed animals. We had the students bring their stuffed animals to make it more fun for them. One of the books they read were Big Dog, Little Dog. We had them take turns reading the book based on their grade level. The 3rd grader read first, then the younger kids were assigned to read.
This is our visit to Mary Jackson Elementary School. Here's us interacting with families and their kids picking out books.
Here's LOL talking to parents and passing out flyers so they can understand what we are doing. Also, we have Santa at the door to keep the kids engaged and also because we're around the holidays. Our most recent event was our chat and share with Community Hub at the Hampton Public Library. Our reflections. Here's a parent email that she sent us after we held our literacy night on Zoom, asking if we had any more ebooks to give to her kid because he loved it so much. Also to see when our next literacy night is. And as you can see, 100% of the people who joined our Zoom session said that they enjoyed it. And 77.8% said that they're very likely to join another one. And what struggles did we encounter and overcome?
We overcame attendance. Our first Zoom night, we only had 1 family attend. By our second Zoom night, we had 9 families attend. What did you know now that you didn't know before?
We know now that reading can be fun, but also how bad the reading process was before we did our research. And if you do your research, you can see that there's a nationwide problem with low literacy scores. And what are we most proud of since starting our experience?
We played a part in getting kids started about reading with them and not just to them.
and our opportunities for improvement. We have more student and parent participation. We will explore books with expanded vocabulary and questions for students, and pose a variety of comprehension questions to our students. Our next steps. Over the summer, we will partner with Hampton Public Libraries to read with kids. We will also schedule and promote 2 additional Zoom nights. We will complete 2 literacy nights with elementary schools. Here's the director of Hampton Public Libraries. This is her confirming our internship over the summer so we can read with the kids. If you would like to read, it is on page 3. When I say we read with the kids, that's exactly what I mean. Reading to kids isn't benefiting anything. Anybody can pick up a book to read to a kid. And this now concludes our presentation. We will now hand out wristbands and mini books to get to your children at home.
Judges, you can begin to that with you.
How did you advertise your Zoom sessions?
So basically, the first page on your flyers is what we sent out to the head of Hampton City Schools, so they have to go through that. It's called PSTAR to give to elementary specifically. So that's what we use to promote our literacy night. It has the dates on it, but our next one is to be determined right now. So
You can also use parents' squares. Too.
Thank you.
Again, I used to work in Petersburg Public Schools, and I used to lead something called family and community engagement. So what the benefit I think that you all have is that you have staff in the school system whose job is also to create these nice themes on literacy, math, things like that in elementary schools. And if I'm talking to you, forgive me if you already know, forgive me. But partnering with them with things that they have already is another way to kind of increase your scope, increase your reach as well. Those things typically have to happen every year anyway. Another thing is that when we had literacy nights, we didn't have high attendance. It's not just y'all, it's not personal. Is that we tag on with an event that may be going on at the school already. So if it's an awards night, all of a sudden, then you can tag on and make that part of the literacy piece as well. So PTA, exactly, things like that. Just ideas.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Good morning. My name is Becca White.
I'm Nico Jones.
And I'm Brian Ranger.
And unfortunately, our 4th member, Sasha Johnson, is unable to join us today. Our PBL here at Kickingham High School is Words in Action, with our focus being on community service. This QR code will take you to our website with all of the information on our PBL. Project Overview. The freshmen here at Kickingham High School have come together to benefit those in need within the city of Hampton, specifically those experiencing homelessness. We want to raise support and provide awareness for these groups. Driving questions. Our first driving question was, which groups within the city of Hampton are currently in need of assistance?
Our second driving question is, what are the specific needs of those groups?
And our third driving question is, who can we partner with and how can we help them fulfill those needs? Part 1, background research. Who faces homelessness? So stated by the Southeastern Virginia Homeless Coalition, 16% of people under the age of 18 are experiencing homelessness, which is number 1 out of the top 3 age groups experiencing homelessness, which the other 2 are listed. Also, 17% of people experiencing homelessness are unsheltered. So when you go outside and you see the large number of people who don't have anywhere to go, that's still only 17% of the homeless population. Families facing homelessness. Also stated by SVHC, there are about 48 families in Hampton experiencing homelessness. Now, this may not seem like a big number initially, but you have to understand that there are multiple people within those families, and that number multiplies into a much bigger number. Now, stated by Dr. Copeland, the coordinator for school social work in Hampton City Schools, you need at least $25 an hour to be able to afford housing. But the average wage in Hampton is only $22 an hour, so that explains why homelessness is such a big issue in our community. Covering specific needs. Now, we talked to and we got on the phone with our community partners, and we asked them what their specific needs were. Now, for example, the Salvation Army said they need gift cards. Now, sad reason why, we heard a story about a man who was trying to get a job as a construction worker, and he needed a helmet and steel-toed boots to get the job, but he couldn't afford it. So we can donate things like clothes and food, but that's not helping people who already have those things. We're just trying to get back on
Part 2, planning and proposal. What we plan to do. The class of 2027 plans on supporting those who've been displaced and raising awareness and making a tangible difference in our community through donations. How we'll do it. We will do this by setting themed items to be collected each month. Students can donate items into boxes like these that will be placed in classrooms and throughout our school. We will then communicate with our students. Through posters, our website, and our Instagram account. We will also partner with organizations to make sure our donations are making it to the community and actually making a difference. Measurable objective. Our measurable objective is that we will measure our success by counting the amount of donations we receive and distribute throughout the community. We've already received and donated over 200 items or bags, and we hope to work our way up to the thousands.
Proposed timeline. So step 1, we gave all of our freshmen at Kingston a survey where they picked the topic of community service for our PBL. And based on that, we went to different field trips, like for example, the food bank. Step 2. In November, this is when we came up with the idea for words and action and getting other freshmen involved, and it sparks the journey that we've embarked on with our PBL. Step 3. In January, we took initiative and we started a school supplies drive where we collected things like pens, pencils, notebooks, and donated it back to kids at Kingston who cannot afford those things on their own.
Step 4. In the beginning of February, we hosted a hygiene bag creation event where we got items such as toothpaste and toothbrushes, and we made bags with those items in order to give them out to people in need. And we also hosted Dr. Copeland as a guest speaker, who taught us that rather than calling them homeless people, we should use the term people experiencing homelessness because it allows for more humanization and it doesn't define them by their issue. Step 5. For the remainder of February, we hosted a t-shirt drive, and we started to find our community partners that we were going to host our donation events through. And for the rest of these steps, we will explain them in more detail in just a couple minutes. Step 6. For the month of March, we are hosting a soup drive, and we dropped off our hygiene kits to the Salvation Army.
Step 7. In the month of April, we will partner with Thrive Peninsula to host a cleaning supply drive. And finally, step 8. Through the months of May and June, we will host a second hygiene supply drive based on the success of our first one and partner with the Salvation Army once again.
Part 3, implementation. So we already talked about what we did during the months of January and February, but I would like to touch on what we're going to be doing for March through June. So in the month of March, we are hosting a soup drive with Health Inc., where we will collect canned soup and powdered soup, and hopefully in a variety of flavors so that everybody has options. And in the month of April, we are hosting a cleaning supply drive with Thrive Peninsula, where we'll collect items such as cleaning wipes and disinfecting spray in order to get them out to people who can't get those items themselves. And through the months of May and June, we are hosting our second hygiene supply drive with Salvation Army in order to get more hygiene supplies out to people in need. And our community partners. Our hygiene kits is going to be hosted through the Salvation Army, which is a global union dedicated to helping everyone in the community without bias, so they don't have opinions on specific groups of people. And they provide donations for people in need within the community, regardless of their class or their purchasing abilities.
Our second community partner is Thrive Peninsula. Thrive Peninsula is a faith and volunteer-driven organization with goals of providing food and services, motivation, and advocacy for those who have been displaced. Their facilities have things like grocery stores, gardens, libraries, and even financial counseling, and so many more resources for these people. I actually found Thrive Peninsula when I was researching service opportunities for student council because I'm freshman class president, but when I came across Thrive, I thought it would be a great idea for our PBL project.
Our third community partner, which is Health Inc., is a service shelter for people in need, and they do things like health care, dental care, and they have many other resources to benefit their community. We took the t-shirts that we got from our t-shirt drive and we donated them there, and while we were there, we asked them, like I mentioned before, what their specific needs were, and they mentioned food. So we hope to take the soup from our soup drive to Health Inc. as well.
Part 4, reflection. Outcomes, what worked well. Everyone was willing to compromise and work together, which meant that any time the three of us had a problem in between us, we were able to talk and find a solution. And we had an empathetic mindset, which meant we put ourselves into the shoes of the people experiencing this issue, and we were able to stay motivated and give them the items that they needed in order to give them a better quality of life. We stayed dedicated to the cause, which meant that we didn't help just once, but we helped multiple times, and we were able to get more items out to them that they needed. And we covered multiple areas of needs, which meant we didn't just choose one item to give out to people. We chose multiple items in order to give them multiple different things so that their needs could be covered.
Areas for growth. So moving forward, we hope to get more participation from the school involving people other than just freshmen, and we hope to create it into a club that people can join next year. We hope to spread more awareness about the issue of homelessness and spread more awareness about what we're doing to fight back against the issue. We hope to get more hands-on with the community doing activities like volunteering for the food bank, homeless shelter, because those things are important to benefiting your community. And we hope to get more input from people like Dr. Copeland, people who have experienced homelessness, and people who are leading homeless shelters because they know what it takes to solve this issue. And our next step, as you can see, this is our Instagram page. Moving forward, we hope to dive in deep with our partnerships with people like Thrive Peninsula, and we hope to target the specific needs of those homeless shelters. Reflections. What do we know now that we didn't know before? Oh.
Something we learned was that the term homeless can mean so many different things. So people living in cars, hotels, or even just living with another family are all considered to be experiencing homelessness. We also learned the specific needs of our community and tried to dedicate our drives to these hard-to-get items, some of which being clothes, cleaning supplies, and food.
What are we most proud of since starting this experience?
We were most proud of how we were able to start affecting the community in a positive way and give back to them. And we were also able to shed light on people experiencing homelessness, not only to freshmen, but to staff members and other grade levels and people like you.
Thank you so much. And don't forget to scan this QR code. It takes you to our website with things like donation trackers, our events, and how you can help.
Thank you, team. You all did great. Judges, you will have 2 minutes for a question and answer session.
Since I always have a question, I'll ask another one. Typically, when you deal with issues of homelessness or unsheltered, there's a negative stigma attached. So those people have a sense of pride and may not accept services as a result of that stigma that's attached to it. So when you pass out items, even when you did in school, I think you talked about collecting notebooks and items for students here that may not have been able to afford it. How did you address that while maintaining people's, not necessarily confidentiality, but their pride in doing that? Is the question kind of clear? Like,
I understand your question. So people who, because I understand pride is a big thing with a lot of people dealing with homelessness. They might not want to admit that they're dealing with that issue. So that sort of thing, it would require a more intimate sort of transaction, but a more intimate type of thing to convince them to really get the help that they need.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Isaiah Johnson. I'm a senior, and my favorite book growing up was Diary of a Wimpy.
Good morning, my name is Layla Witherspoon. I am a junior, and my favorite book was Junie B. Jones.
My name is Zara Sandifer. I'm a junior, and my favorite book growing up was One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Green Fish.
My name is Robert Beach. I'm a junior. My favorite book was Cat in the Hat.
My name is Simone Harris. I'm a freshman, and my favorite book was Cassandra.
And we are a part of the ACE Academy.
And this is our presentation on Famous Read.
Famous Read is where we go read to elementary school students, help them achieve and develop skills in reading.
Famous Read is important to us because we feel that students aren't being encouraged to read enough and it's being reflected in their SRO reading scores.
Our driving purpose for this project is to help students understand the importance of literacy. And we like to do that by helping students envision themselves in future opportunities that they like to be in and encouraging them not to be just in school, but out of school as well.
40% of all America's elementary students fall below the standard reading level. We recognize how this translates into adulthood, with around 21% of Americans adults being functionally illiterate. We also see how this transfers into our communities. About most of all 3rd through 8th grade students are at risk or have failed their reading SRO tests. The students who are at risk of failing and who are failing are not growing, and we want to help them. Most of all 3rd through 8th grade students are failing, and we wanted to help that by reading to 3 elementary schools. We chose 3 elementary schools in our area, which were Barron, Forest, and Smith. 2 of the 3, which being Forest and Smith, are on the HCS elementary school watch list, which means that their SRO reading scores are super close to not being at standard or not getting school accreditation. The teachers loved our mentorship. They wanted to see more of it, and they we had an 82% academic performance increase, and we also had a 95% satisfaction rate from teachers.
On the brochure that we gave you guys have a sample of all the questions that we asked our teachers and our students.
When we asked our second and third grade students, do you think you are a good reader? For our pre-visit survey, 65% of them said yes, and our per-survey visit, 78% of them said yes. So that's a 10% increase from our before and after our visits.
Regarding our teacher feedback, we saw a lot of similarities saying that we did a relatively good job and we should just get books that stimulate the students' interest and relate to them more.
Our first step was research, where we discussed our driving question in our history class.
For step 2, we planned and chose the schools we were going to read to, make sure we were encouraging them to read, when we visit, and not only.
And to the schools that we did choose are on the HCS reading as well watch list.
And of course, we chose the 3 schools, which was Barron, Forest, and Smith. And we went in there with great mindsets. We do have, Okay, so we visited every month since November, at least once or twice a month. In between our visits, we did send classroom letters, which there is an example on the brochure as well.
A total of 550 students that we registered over the 3 schools with 60 volunteers. We donated 1 book to the classroom, each classroom that we read to in the school library, which totals out to around 123. We provided a mentorship program and we hosted a book drive where if you brought a book into the basketball game, you get $1 off your ticket. And step 4 is reflection. This is where we look back on the student-teacher feedback to see what worked well and what we can do better for next visit.
What worked well so far is creating a great mentorship bond with each one of our students and maintaining a consistent schedule since we have been going every month since November. So us going so often, it did create that huge bond between us and the students, which helped us analyze and really see their growth and their literacy.
Fears for growth, we definitely want to show more individual attention. We want to break off in smaller groups, having the students interact more. We want to reach more schools in the city of Hampton, and we want to increase our book drive because we only have 5 so far. As a group, our reflection, me personally, I definitely learned the skill of patience and how to connect with the youth.
Me personally, I wasn't that big of a kid person in the beginning, but over time I did grow to find a bond for them.
What would you do different? We said that we could definitely be more organized in the way that we go to the schools and go to the different classrooms. And we could also be more enthusiastic to make sure that they know that we want to be there and that we want them to read and to learn. We also said that we have a better book selection so we can cater to each of our young learners' individual interests.
For me, it personally allowed me to connect with family more, so I have cousins in 2 of the classes that we read to, so I go over to my grandmother's house and use that.
What we're most proud of since starting our project is definitely the positive impact we have on our students by helping them want to read more and increase their SRO reading scores. And for our community impact, we are partnered with the Hampton Roads Transit, so the transit every day we walk to the bus stop of Vice Mayor Jimmy Gray and participated in the Transit Every Day celebration. And with that, they did help us purchase the books I Am With the Park, which we read for the month of February to our children. And for the months of March, April, and May, we had a Mayor's Book Club reading at Melvin Early Childhood Center. And as of right now, we are part of the Virginia Education Foundation and the Hampton City Schools Language Arts Department, where we are currently donating over 600 books to our students.
So, do you feel like your students are reading more since our last visit?
I definitely think that you guys have made it more cool to read, and them seeing football players, and we had dancers come in our room one time where someone was in choir, and so they're seeing kids who are interested in things, well, kids, young adults who are interested in the same things that they are, so you guys definitely have encouraged them to pick up a book more, for sure.
Okay. And with us today, we have Ms. Sarah Meyer from Forest Elementary and Mr. Michael Blunt from Smith Elementary to tell you about how Hampton has impacted them in their school.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Meyer, I'm the principal at Forest Elementary, and we have the pleasure of having the Phantoms come read to our students every month since November. And I would say it's made a huge impact because they can relate better. As a teacher, you stand up and tell them the same things that students could, but because they're from their community, because they can relate to them and they see where they are and they can see that they're going to be there soon, that makes them want to read more. So we really appreciate them coming.
I'm Michael Blunt, principal at Smith Elementary School.
For us, the teachers were very impressed by the level of preparation that these students came in with. You can tell they had read the books, they were ready to actually ask and answer questions for the students, and so the teachers were very impressed by the level of detail. The students, as we said before, they had an opportunity to see what for some were relatives and neighbors of theirs, and so that for them, they saw that reading could be cool. You could still be cool and read, and so, and then for the last, for me personally, just the level, the way that the Phantoms, that they held up a high standard of academic achievement, because these students are in the ACE Academy, so it showed that reading would definitely be beneficial or necessary for them to achieve their goals.
Okay, so with us today also, we have our children from Barron and Forest and Smith with us here today. So these are some of the books we have donated with the help of Virginia Education Foundation. Right there. Oh, what happened to them? I'm sorry. Layla!
Hit.
Okay, go back. Oh, there they are. Oh. Okay, go back. Okay, and so for our next step, we plan to collaborate with Hampton High School Engineering and Education Academy. This is one of the three book deserts in our community. We want to partner with the Education Academy to build mini libraries in the community, and the Education Academy so we can create a Warriors Reach to reach more schools in Hampton City schools. And also we want to do a summer camp that will partner with the University Corner and 21st Century program that we read the classes once a day, once a week during the summer. Yes. And that is all. Thank you for listening.
Okay, well, it's now time for Tuesday question and answer session.
What was your favorite book that you read to the students?
Can I start? Okay. My favorite book was Because. It's a book mostly centered around this little girl, and the girl, she wanted to go to this concert or this performance so bad, but her mother got sick. So some other person got sick, and the ticket got passed down all the way down to her, and she was able to go to the concert.
My favorite book would definitely have to be The Day I Learned to Fly. It's like a positive, like it hits you. It's like, as a 17-year-old, I felt impacted by that book. It's like it felt like I could do anything I wanted to do. So hopefully that really hit the students as well.
For me, my favorite book is I Am Every Good Thing. It's just a book that shows you how to have confidence.
Do you guys go into character when you read these books?
So we have gotten that question once before. We do not go into character. Something that we might consider going forward since we do work with HRT. So, it might be something that y'all do seek, but as for now, we don't go into character.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed our lunch as much as I did. Let's thank our first judges, Tasha Wright from Food Lion, Damian Douglas from Inspire IT, Master Police Officer Manny Brown from the Hampton Police Division. Next, we will hear some comments from our judges.
Okay, so coming from the community college here in our region, I just want to say how proud and inspired I am just from today, from everybody. Everybody's a winner, and I'm super excited for the next generation, right? Taking care of us, taking care of our community. So very inspiring. Thank you.
Likewise, Brandon Jones, but I'm at Mr. Newport. One of the things that I do is a college prep program. I work with high school students in Newport News. The point of that is that we want to make sure that they're prepared for college when they go. So listening to you all today gives me, first of all, hope. I'm so excited and inspired by you all. For those of you all that may not have one today, they're so close, right? Just one tweak here, one tweak there, one addition here, one collaboration there. We talk a lot about how some of these projects could be combined. It would be so awesome just to see what it would look like going forward. That's an evolution. So again, it's just notes of improvement, right? Every year, getting better and better. So thank you for your time. It's hard to get there and talk in front of people, even if you know those people. Sometimes that makes it harder. So proud of all of you for what you did today. Proud of all of you all for the impact that you're making. Don't let it stop here because the project ends, right? Keep going. Good job, guys.
Peace to all y'all. I'm so proud of y'all. Like, what y'all did up here today, the presentations that I've seen and over time and even today, if no one else tell you, I just want to say I'm proud of y'all. Like, I was, you know, we talked about it and it was just some of the ideas that y'all have and that y'all think, like, we as adults are just getting there. So what y'all are doing, I always tell people, kids grow to be adults. And that's how the impact is going to happen. Like, as y'all grow to be adults, y'all want to keep this stuff with y'all. And if anything I can say to y'all, everybody that knows me knows that I'm always a positive person. I'm for the kids, always will be for the kids, because as I say, the kids grow up to be what we are now. So if people would have told me things that I'm learning now in my adulthood at y'all age, it would have been a lot easier. So I appreciate y'all. If I can tell y'all one thing, be weeds in the midst of flowers. So that's hard for people to swallow and think, because people like to get rid of weeds. But even in my field, I found that some of the most nutritious herbs and things are weed. So be a weed amongst flowers. Weeds are resilient. They come back, you kill them, you knock them down, and they come back every year, if even we're 40 years out. So be weeds amongst flowers. So I appreciate y'all, I'm proud of y'all, and thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Okay, I'm Gladys Henderson Williams. I am the proud CEO of a business coaching, and I would hire each one of you all as entrepreneurs because you all have come up with ideas, creativity that will take us farther than we could have ever thought we could go. So to everyone in here, to the staff, to the teachers, thank you for imparting and giving these young people an opportunity to go forward and create the future that they want to live in. Y'all be blessed.
Today, students were judged on many areas such as planning, impact, and presentation skills. All are important as we march into being community advancers. Regardless of wins and losses, you are all winners because of the effort and commitment that you have shown this morning. Let's give all presenters another round of applause. When we announce the winning teams, we ask that you come to the stage to be recognized for a quick photo op with Dr. Haynes and Dr. Caggiano. Please join us on stage. And stay left. I know you all have been waiting for the results, so we're going to jump right into it. We will start with our poster competition. The team in second place will receive $100 each. The second place poster award goes to, drumroll please, DUI Awareness Campaign, Academy of Law and Public Safety in Bethel High School. Our first place winner for the poster competition will receive $150 each team member. Our first place poster award goes to, drumroll please, Hampton High 5.
A quick note, every PBL member represented today will receive at least $50. At least $50. Making sure y'all know. Alright, and now we will announce fourth place for the finisher of the district PBL presentation. The fourth place team will receive $100 each. The fourth place winner is, drum roll please, Success 100, the Etiquette Edge Professional Academy Key High School. Congratulations. The third place finisher for the district PBL presentation will receive $200 each. 200, you heard me? The third place winner is HBCU Connect Transportation and That's all I see.
The second place finisher for the district PBL presentation will receive $300 each. The team finishing in second place today is, drum roll please, Missing Ingredient, Academy of Hospitality and Tourism for Phoenix High School. The members of the first place team for the district PBL presentation will receive $500 each. Let me say that again, $500 each. The team winning first place this year